First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, Aqua, they believe in all sincerity. This is the book of Tobit, the fourth chapter. And as I was on my way to work, I was listening to, the audio Bible. And I wanted to read the instructions that Tobit had given to his son Tobias. Okay. Because it's very I found it very edifying. Okay, those times when you read certain scriptures and they just uplift you. They just make everything clear, put things into perspective. And that's what the scriptures are for. The scriptures say that all things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. Okay, matter of fact, let's get that. Before we get into and there's actually two excerpts from the book of Tobit that I want to read. Instructions given to Tobias by his father, and also the angel Raphael. Okay, but this is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And when I had heard this, it gave me some hope. It gave me some comfort. Okay, it gave me some instruction. All right, so I want to impart that with you. Okay, so this is Tobit 4, and we'll start at 4. Remember, my son, that she saw many dangers for thee when thou wast in her womb, and when she is dead, bury her by me in one grave. Okay, and that's Tobias talking to his son of his mother. Okay, instructions were to despise not his mother, but honor her. Okay, and do that which shall please her, and grieve her not, and to bury her next to Tobias. Okay, and that's those are great commandments, to honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be longer. Okay, that's something that is lost. Okay, in the world, that's something that has changed. Your father and your mother, they truly went through it so that you could be here. So for those that have known, for those that know, I've been heavy speaking about my father lately, but let's continue. This is the 5th chapter. My son, be mindful of the Lord our power all thy days, and let not thy will be set to sin, or to transgress his commandments. Do uprightly all thy life long, and follow not the ways of unrighteousness. It says, let not thy will be set to sin. Okay, and so we're supposed to do the Most High's will. Okay, that's something that you learn as you get older in this faith, that you have to do the Lord's will, not what you want to do. Okay, but what the Lord wants us to do. Okay, and transgress not his commandments. Do uprightly all thy life long. And in this world, people are very crooked, very deceitful. No one's trying to be upright. It says, and follow not the ways of unrighteousness. It says, for if thou deal truly, thy doings shall prosperly succeed to thee, and to all them that live justly. And that's something that the Spirit has made me understand. Okay, what does it say in Joshua 1:8? Matter of fact, we'll read it again. Excuse me. We'll read it again right here, and then we'll get Joshua 1:8. Because it's a precept. It says, for if thou deal truly, thy doing shall prosperly succeed thee. Okay? You want to be prosperous? Okay, do what Yahweh Bashim Mashai has commanded. Keep the commandments. That's how you prosper in life. That's the cheat code. I'm 41 years old, and that's something that I finally understood in my 41 years of age, and have I mastered it? I want to, and so that's why I'm bringing this out, because these are instructions, that are very edifying. But let's go to Joshua 1:8, okay? And because so many people, want to get somewhere in life and never truly understand that, follow the commandments, man. All right, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, then thou shalt have good success. That's how you make your way prosperous, man. That's how you have good success, is meditating on the scriptures day and night. Okay, and you got to live by, scriptures say that man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeded out the mouth of Yahweh Bashim El Shai. That's truly how you succeed in life. And some Israelites never attain to that level of knowledge. They think they can get successful by every other way but the Lord. Okay. For if thou deal truly, thy doing shall prosperly succeed to thee and to all them that live justly. You got to be just. You gotta truly, be a judge in your life, in the lives of others. And judges, they don't do amiss. They do right by individuals. Okay, so it says, give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thy eye be envious. Neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of the Most High shall not be turned away from thee. Okay, so give alms. Okay, let's look up this. Excuse me, real quick. Let's look up this word alms. Okay, alms definition.
Alms.
It says money, food, or other material goods given to poor or needy people as an act of charity. Okay? The word comes from an old Greek term meaning mercy or pity. Okay? And that's truly what Yahweh Bashim El Shai was doing on the earth. Okay? He was doing alms. Okay? Charitable donations or gifts, money, food, or clothing. Okay? Often linked to religious duties or traditional acts of kindness. Okay, and so many individuals don't know that they're actually here to help. You're a servant, not first and foremost to Yahweh Bashim El Shai, but you're a servant to your fellow man. We're here to serve. We're here to help. And the Lord will see to it. But of course you got to watch who you help. But you get the idea. We're here to be a good Samaritan, to the best of our ability. All right. But we have to be wise. Okay. It says, neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of the Most High shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but little, be not afraid to give according to that little. Okay. So if you have a lot, hey, give abundantly. If you only have a little, but don't be afraid to give, that little that you have. For thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity. You see, and the day that you need something, the Lord will see it, and the Lord will bless you. The Lord will find a way, okay, for you to be blessed. And in turn, why? Because you gave alms. You were charitable. You gave money. You gave gifts. You gave things. You helped out. Okay, the Lord, He's pleased with that. It says, because that alms do deliver from death, and suffereth not to come into darkness. You see, and so many people are obsessed with self. Okay, what can I get from him? What can I get from this person? What you got for me? Okay, what's in it for me? But really, it says alms do deliver from death, and suffereth not to come into darkness. Your good deeds will keep you from going into darkness. You see, the scriptures say what? Charity covereth a multitude of sins. Okay? For alms is a good gift unto all that give it, in the sight of the Most High. It says, beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are the children of the prophets. You see, we are the children of the prophets. It says, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives from of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. Okay? And so what stuck out to me is that we are children of the prophets, man. Okay? It says Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the Hebrew Israelites, you know? And so that brings me a lot of comfort to know that we're actually serving the true living power. We know his name, right? What does it say in Exodus 10, the 10th chapter? The God of the Hebrews, the Israelites. Okay? Okay, going back to the lineage, okay, from Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and in Jacob shall thy seed be called. Jacob's name turned to Israel when he wrestled with the angel. Through the Spirit, we've come to understand that we're the children of the Most High. We're the sons of God. Okay, along with the women are the daughters of the Most High. Okay. Now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people. You see, and so many people today, are fueled by hate, by anger, by malice, by greed, right? But see, you're coming upon a time where connections are getting thin. The love of many is waxing cold because iniquity is abounding. Everybody's turning on the evil bandwagon. Everybody's jumping on the evil bandwagon, right? Everybody want to be a mean girl or mean guy. But truly, we're to love one another, man. And how do you love one another? By you keeping the commandments. This takes our people. It takes years to understand and to learn that's what prospers. That's what makes the world a better place, if you will. Right? Now, therefore, my son, love thy brother and despise not in thine heart thy brethren. Right? And people despise in thy heart inwardly. There's people that are envious. They're jealous. They want to take your spot. They want to make you look bad. They want to throw you in a pit. They want to they want to Yaiquab you. That's what Jacob's rightful name is, right? Yaiquab, to supplant, to take the place of a one, to replace one, to supersede. That's what our people do. It says, thy sons and thy daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them, for in pride and destruction and much trouble, and in loot. Let me read that again. Excuse me. Now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble. You see that? It says, for in pride is destruction and much trouble. Okay, and something that I'm seeing in the world today is people, having to get their lick back. People having to get the last word. People having to prove, okay, that they ain't gonna go out like that. They're gonna get you back. They're gonna make sure that you feel them. Okay, you can bring upon yourself a lot of trouble trying to, be proud. Okay. It says, for in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine. Okay, Tobit 4:12. Let's look this up. Let's see if we can look this up in another translation. Tobit 4.